Hello, welcome to another episode of the GNPS. It's your boy, General Engineer. We're back with another one. Sitting next to me is my next guest, Sphindile. Welcome to the podcast.
Thank you for having me. Thanks for having me, General.
Thank you for joining us. Usually, the reason I bring on people here is because they're interesting or they're doing something that I find inspirational. And you are one of those people. I know you through work, and I've sort of seen part of your journey or a certain point of your life's journey, obviously through work. For people that don't know, who is Sphindile?
Sphindile is a girl from Mandeni,
Yes.
the north coast of KwaZulu-Natal. I grew up in different places, actually. For the first 5 years of my life, I stayed with my mother and my sister in Eshowe.
Yeah.
I was born in Eshowe. And then I moved to my grandmother's house when I was 6 with my sister. We stayed there from 1996 to 1999. Then we moved to Esikawini for 2 years. And then we moved from there. After 2 years, we moved to Olundi to stay with father's side of the family. And then 1 year, and then 2003, we had to go to Mandeni because the family relocated from Eshowe to Mandeni permanently. So we stayed with my grandmother there from 2003 when my mother passed away till matric, which was 2008. Yeah, life was good. We had a very happy childhood, and our grandmother instilled very good values and yeah.
So
And
basically, now we're Kulele Makai.
Yeah, Nkulele Makai.
Yeah.
KwaZulu. Yeah.
Now,
Yeah.
I mean, you experienced a lot of changes, I guess, through your growing up. While you're growing up, obviously relocating place to place. I mean, what challenges would you come across as you know, when the zonkele lama movement? Because I'd like to think, I haven't done a lot of moving in my life, but like I know how it is to move to a different place.
It was very hard because at one point it was not our choice to move because we had to, because our mom was working in Durban, so there was no one to stay with us. And my grandmother was ill at that time, and our grandfather had passed away in 1999. So we had to be somewhere and still go to school, you know. But because my dad passed away when I was really young, at 4, so we had to stay wherever we had to, like from my father's side of the family. Yeah, and then we had to move permanently with my grandmother, and it was very difficult to stay without your parents. But overall, I would say I had a happy childhood.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
I guess there's like some of the duties of beauties of growing up in Makaya back then, because like I feel like life moves much slower that side. So I mean, there aren't that many bad influences. But now, if you compare then and now, I think things have changed.
Yeah, I'd agree with that because my grandmother was very, very strict. Raising girls is not easy. So
how many girls was she raising?
she was raising 4 girls and 1 boy. So she was very, very strict. Yeah.
Yo.
Yeah.
So I mean, how's a typical day in your life? I mean, between school and home.
Okay, I think my best memory was when I was still in Eshowe. We had like a big farmhouse, and my grandparents used to farm there. But I never really used to like farming, but I like the beauty of having like everything in the yard. Like we had different fruits growing in the farm, and we've had vegetables. We've had everything. We've had chickens. Yeah. My granny used to raise chickens, so
Yeah, so
it was like
we
we in Kupe, we didn't have cows or goats, no. So yeah, it was a fun childhood.
So
Like,
Samakhaya.
he was very small. He was the smallest.
Oh,
Yeah, he was the
okay.
smallest. So He was just the baby of the house. So
Good thing cock. Otherwise, it's cock Zulu side.
We didn't have cows though. If she did have, if she did have that, so yeah.
And then bese masisibadala usuze khona usisozothi thengelusa
I can't even whistle.
Because ayengekho umfana vele ozolusa.
Yeah, but yeah, we did everything when we were young. Like we started cooking at a very young age. At the age of 8, I was cooking. I was able to cook. We were able to do our laundry.
Would you say that that's a good thing, or is it child slavery, as they would put it today?
I think like nowadays, I'd say it's slavery. Like it's
why? But you did it.
I did it, but I didn't feel like it was slavery. Like I feel like they helped me a lot because it made me become the person that I am today. Now why are you
denying today's children?
Because like I myself have children and I don't make them work.
Why?
Children are supposed to play and have fun and read books and watch cartoons and
work.
A little bit of like tidying up the toys or the books or whatever. That's it. Washing their underwear. No.
Pega is an important life skill. I'd like to think. Imagine this.
Maybe when they're teens, maybe early teens, then they'll start with things like that, like cleaning the house and cooking.
I'd argue with that. Because let me make an example. For instance, let's say nowadays things happen. You find a child-headed household, you know, and those people didn't really think that they would end up like in that situation, but somehow it does happen. Now, one of the things that as a parent you would like to happen is that when you, somehow by some bad luck, you do happen to live before your kids, you'd like to know they could feed themselves.
I do know that, but I don't like to expose them like in...
No, it's not... Think about it. No, I'm serious. Think about it. Because, and if you do stick around for longer than the point where they eventually master feeding themselves, it's a good thing to learn. It's not a bad thing. I wouldn't consider it slavery to do something that's going to feed you.
But hey, when we were young, it was a lot of things we used to do at our age. At the age of 7, you were able to maybe boil water make fire and boil water. You're able to,
but then
a lot of things.
With the cooking, you can chop everything, do the chopping, do the lighting. And make them put in the ingredients.
I still think it's not safe for them. Like the only thing they do is also make their own breakfast, like cereals. That's it. That's it. They brush their teeth and that's it.
But I still think you can teach kids to cook at least 9 years old.
Do you have children yourself?
9 years. I know I don't have, but I do have a younger sister. And she's 16 now, so it's pointless. She already knows how to cook.
Yeah.
But in any case, now at the point that you are in your life, basically you're a grown woman now. As you said, you have kids.
Yeah.
What's the most important thing to you in your life? As a mother. Yes.
Is to work hard and grow in my career so that my kids can have a better life and upbringing. And because my goal is to have a home one day, like our own home, and raise kids there, because it's so difficult to raise kids in rental houses or rental spaces. It's very, very difficult. So I'd like to do that. Like I push myself every day to work hard so that we'll have a home one day. Yeah.
And sorry. Right now, you recently came back from the States.
Yeah.
And you left South Africa last year.
That's right.
Tell us about your trip to the States. What was it about? What was the reason for you to go
can I
there?
just start from just after high school, if you don't mind,
Yeah.
because it didn't
Absolutely.
just start from
Absolutely.
2018.
Absolutely.
You know,
Absolutely. We don't mind
yeah.
going
So
back.
okay. So after matric, I came to Durban to stay with my auntie from my mom's side of the family.
Yes.
So we stayed there for like a couple of months with my sister, and then we moved to our own place. And then at that time, I was studying through UNISA. So when I applied when I was still in high school, I had no idea what I was going to be. At first, I was passionate with music, so my uncles were like, "No, you can't be serious. Music, you cannot make it a career. It's just entertainment, you know." So I was
Those words.
discouraged,
Eh?
and like I had no idea what I wanted to do like after school.
But wait, did you have a musical talent? Though?
Yeah, I think so. I'd say
Hey,
yeah.
can you
yeah.
what? You can sing. You can play an instrument. What is
No,
it?
not an instrument, but I think I can sing. I think I don't
Okay.
know. Yeah, 'cause
Maybe
we
you,
used to sing-
you could still pursue that.
Yeah, but I think it's not so much of
You can do it as a
something
hobby.
yeah, I can do that as a hobby because I know it's in me. Like it's something
Yeah.
that can never leave me. Like I feel like I've always been interested into a lot of things. I've always been that person who likes to do a lot of things at the same time.
Okay, back to your story. They
Yeah,
didn't
back to
want
the
you to do
story.
music.
And then I had to apply for something. I just applied for horticulture. I had no idea what it was. I didn't do any research. I just liked the unique name because I didn't want to be a nurse or doctor or a lawyer, like something.
Hey, join the
And
club,
then
join the club.
and then I studied through UNISA correspondence, and I dismally failed. Not really failed. I had to supplement all my 4 modules. I was like, fuck this shit. I'm not doing this. No ways. I've worked so hard because at the time I was working full time. I was working at KFC, Shaka Marine, and I was studying part time. I was like, no ways. I'm not doing this. I spent a lot of money trying to push myself, and because I was a self payer, I was like, no ways. I'm done with this thing. And then I became pregnant with my son, 2010. And then he was born in October, 10/10/10. That's his birthday.
Hey, shut
This
up.
year is he's turning 10.
I was born on the same day.
Is it?
Yeah.
Wow. What a coincidence. Yeah. They used to call him Ma 10/10 because he was born on the 10th of the 10th of 2010.
Yeah, I was born on the 10th of the 10th, 1990.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Same year as me. I was So I just told myself I'm giving up. I'm not doing school anymore. That's it. And then 2011, my sister was like, "No, you need to go back to school. You cannot be working at restaurants for the rest of your life. You need to do something." And applied again through DUT. I was accepted to do horticulture because I realized this is my passion. I like this thing, but I don't understand. Like, how did I fail? You know, I was like, no, I have to follow this.
Now, how did it move from just picking a name that's different
I had
to
no
being
idea.
your passion?
Because I realized that I love plants when I was studying because I had to buy like textbooks and I would read like after work at night I would read, and I realized that because it reminded me of a lot of things like throughout my childhood because I was always surrounded by plants. We used to be farming, but at that time I didn't like it.
Yeah.
Like
It was a chore.
Yeah, it was a chore. It wasn't something that I liked. But then I realized that I've always been surrounded by plants. So whenever I would read something that reminded me of my childhood, I'd be like, I remember this plant. There used to be a specific plant. It's called, I think it's the wattle tree. The common name is wattle tree, watela in Zulu. So there used to be this gum thingy. We used to eat that. So now we used to call it inomfi. So all of those things, like it used to come back, like when I would be studying, malpele or something like that, amachincholo, amaguava, all that.
Yeah.
So to get to study all of that, it was very interesting. And then I was like, I really want to do this, you know. And then that's how I developed that passion.
Second round.
Yeah, ngabuya ke lapho ngathi angisabheke emumva la. Because I think another thing was the transition from having a teacher in front of you from high school to just doing it on your own. Because you have to be strong. But I think I can do it now. But back then, no, it was very, very hard. So, yeah.
I was like, nah. Because Because like no saying
Yeah, it's
not structured.
Yeah, because ufuna uthisha phambi kwakho, that's what you need.
Sometimes ufunda ngoba khona umuntu ademe phambi kwakho. Uyazi ukuthi nakusasa uzobe khona.
Yeah.
Mhlawumbe uzobuza umbuzo. But
That's true.
If it's remote, it's like
yeah,
it's
body
question paper.
Exactly. So yeah, and then when I studied through DUT, I did my 3 years diploma. That's when my grandmother passed away when I was doing my 3rd year, and I graduated in 2016. Then 2017, I did my BTech, and 2018, that's 2 years BTech, also in horticulture, and I think I was very, very passionate. Even now, I'm still passionate about it. Mostly interested in medicinal plants, because that's what my research was about, in medicinal plants, because I love medicinal plants, and I do believe that it has nothing to do with believing in them, because they have these medicinal properties. So it's something that's in them.
Which medicinal plants do you think that we as human beings take for granted? And it's something that should maybe be part of our regular routine.
For example, the aloe vera. The aloe vera is good for, it can be ingested. I'm not a doctor. First of all, I'm not a doctor. So I cannot be prescribing or giving medical advice. I'm just using this knowledge from the horticultural point of view. So because I've done research about those plants, and there's scientific research, evidence that's been done about these plants. So they have the medicinal properties. So like aloe vera, I just said, it can be ingested, it can be applied topically on the skin, and it does a lot of things. Like it's one plant that I always have. Like even my kids know. If they get a cut somewhere after maybe while they play, they know, ikona my aloe vera. They know. There's another one called ipalpa, and it's called iputu in Zulu. It also has that
aloe vera in Tlaba ngesiZulu.
Yeah, in Tlaba ngesiZulu, yeah.
Ngiyakwazi lokho.
Yeah. So yeah, a lot of plants like iputu also works the same with the aloe vera. It can be applied on sores or anything like that, or even like if you have eczema, something like that, you can apply it on your skin. If you have mouth ulcers, you can apply it or you got burns by the tea. Yeah. So there's a whole lot of plants that have medicinal values. So
I want to ask you about a particular plant.
Okay.
The cannabis plant.
Yeah. Interesting.
What can you tell us about that particular plant?
It's good that it's been legalized in South Africa, because it has a lot of medicinal value. It has a lot of healing properties.
This is you speaking with your horticulture knowledge.
With my horticulture knowledge. Knowledge,
You can proceed.
So yeah, it's been used in medicines of cancer, even to make oils, like essential oils, as cannabis oil. A lot of things. It can be made into like a green tea, I remember when we used to study, like I was still doing my 2nd year doing plant material studies. My lecturer used to say, if ever you want to smoke anything in the world, don't smoke tobacco, just smoke
just smoke weed.
Cannabis. It's good for you.
Smoke cannabis,
but I myself don't smoke at all. I don't smoke, yeah.
I do smoke.
All right, that's good. That's okay. That's not good. That's okay.
No. Yeah, I do. Yeah, I do smoke every now and again.
Alrighty.
It's good for you when you're an adult. Yeah. One thing I'd like to, as much as we can talk about something being good for you, at the same time, I feel like people sometimes they understand what's being said. Like in this case, me saying I smoke and it's good for you. No, what I also need to tell you is that I feel like cannabis, as much as it's good, but it's not good for everyone. Especially if you are, for me, if you're under the age of at least 25. I'm not saying if you're under age of 25, you can't handle cannabis. Yes, you can. Some can, I guess. But if you're not too sure about it, rather wait until you're 25, because after 25, you more or less know how to say no to yourself. Other than when you're still like in your late teens, early 20s, everything is just like, I'm on the go. We're doing this or we're not doing it. And that's not the type of thing that you should approach it as. And I just feel like also sometimes in you don't just need to consume THC. You don't need the psychoactive materials of cannabis. So you can opt for CBD.
What is that?
It's one of the molecules found in the cannabis.
Okay.
So THC is more psychoactive. It's the one that gives you the euphoria, the feeling of being high.
Oh, okay.
So what they do in order to get CBD, so they strictly extract the CBD and the THC. So it's separated. So you get it in single components.
Makes sense.
So yeah. So other than that, just be educated on cannabis. So let's not have this mentality of saying, it's legal. So that means we can just blaze it up anyhow.
Yeah.
Because sometimes it might be counterproductive. That's a fact as well, which people don't want to face. It's counterproductive to you, not to people around you, to you. So you also don't want something that's going to slow you down.
Extreme.
Yeah, but in any case, back to you, obviously, now you've discovered that your horticulture is your thing and that's what you want to become vested in. After varsity, what happened?
After varsity, I was struggling with getting a job like in my field. So I was so stressed out and I had to have a job. So I was not choosy at that time. I was just taking whatever that comes my way. So I worked at the nursery, a plant nursery in Sherwood for like 2 years. And then after that, I moved to Nkosi Albert to work in the landscaping company there for like 4 months.
What is your work, Vele, at Albert? Like
in landscaping?
Yeah, like
I was a site horticulturist, so I was I would say I was in charge of the landscaping in Nkosi because we used to do we were maintaining the gardens because we were not doing any installations. We were doing rehabilitation as well as just maintaining the site. Yes, we had a team of like maybe 12 to 15 people. Yeah. It was a great experience.
Nkosi Albert is renowned for being like, it's clean.
Yeah.
Wow. Like, for me, like, I always see the guys about trimming the grass, trimming the trees.
Yeah.
And I'm like, all this work, like, I never, like, now that you're bringing this up here, so I never knew what really went on in order to make sure that happens and it stays like that. Because all year round.
Yeah, it has to be like that. It has to be maintained.
So how much of planning goes into doing that? And, well, what's the budget like?
I wouldn't lie and say I know what's the budget, but I know it's a lot of money that goes in that, especially in the installations. But since we're just maintaining the sites, for us it wasn't a lot of work because it's only a matter of just trimming the hedges, cutting back the trees when it's time to cut back the trees, and keeping the grass cut, and that's it. And just making sure that there's no litter on the ground, and so for us it wasn't like it didn't require like for a company to have like a lot of money to do the maintenance. But for installations,
so how much are we talking for an installation, roughly?
I'm sure maybe it's
around
for that hospital. Maybe it's over. Maybe it's 1 million or so. Yeah, but it cannot be less.
Just
to jala because it's a lot that goes in there. There's hard landscaping, there's soft landscaping. Hard landscaping meaning the cobbles, the pavements, the paving, the Loffelsteins, all that hard stuff. So the soft landscaping, the plants. So plants are very expensive, especially the trees, because also I'm sure when they bought the trees or when they installed the trees, they had to install maybe something over, not something like small, maybe something over a meter or so. So they're expensive.
You know, all that is something that someone would just like disregard and just not pay attention. But now that you bring, like, it's like you're pulling the curtain behind where they make the magic tricks, and you get to see that there's a lot of work that goes into something that every day you just take for granted. Because I myself, I'm a keen observer of nature, or how we humans interact and handle nature. And obviously beautiful landscaping is, you know, it's beautiful landscaping. You can't deny it. It's like, yo, wow, that's nice. And also to get to speak to people behind that, I feel like that's necessary. It's very important. But for you, can you tell us how important is nature conservation? Like, you know, within your industry, like obviously I'm sure sometimes there's certain chemicals that are used to treat and manage.
Yeah. Okay, I would say I'm more of a sustainable horticulturist, because I'd like to advise people like to grow sustainably without actually using the chemicals or the pesticides or any poisons that are detrimental to the natural environment, because they don't only just go into the soil and that's the end of it. It goes to the streams, the rivers, the sea, and there are many ecosystems in the sea, in the river, you know, so it kills a lot of species, which could be plants growing there, it could be fish, or it could be a lot of things that are growing in the sea or in the rivers. So it's not good, because also those species that get endangered because of those poisons, because eventually they will be extinct, and which is not a good thing. So we're trying to teach or spread the word that use less if you cannot stay away from poisons at all, or no poisons, because I believe that if you plant organically, it's good for everyone. It's good for the nature. It's good for you as well. It's good for your body, because you don't know what those chemicals do inside your body. And I would touch on that when I get to the story of America about about the food not being all right there.
I was about to move on to that. Like, okay. Tell us now, because you were working at Nkosi. That's where I met you.
Yeah.
And how does it come about that America?
Okay, so after that 4 months working at the landscaping, I worked at the waste department as a cleaner there. And I've always been that person who looks out for information. Like, I even got to know you because I cannot just sit and not ask if I have questions, you know, or if I need to know something. Like, I talk to people. That's how I get to know a lot of things, or that's how I get help. So I was speaking to a lot of people, because I was actually applying for the third time in 2018 to go to America for an internship in agriculture. Because the first year I tried to apply, I withdrew the application because I realized I was not going to be able to have that 44,000. So I just withdrew my application. And the second time I was declined because I have children. For some reason, I was told people from South Africa, they would go to America thinking they're going to make millions. And then they just neglect their children. And I had already made plans for my kids and everything. So it was such a bummer that I couldn't go at that time. But then still at that time, I didn't have money to go. So I just had that hope, that faith that maybe I'll get money, you know, somewhere, somehow. And then in 2018, I had to go. I went to that management department, and then I was just speaking to, I think his name is Dr. Mpulo. I'm not even sure if I'm supposed to be mentioning names. But I was just asking him,
They are
like,
part of the story.
because when I was in, how I know this guy or how I know this doctor, I knew him through landscaping, because we used to do like even like office plants. We'd be maintaining office plants as well. So that's how I got to know him. So I spoke to him like, I'm planning of something like this. I've been applying like this, so I need money or I need donations. So do you know whom can I talk to? Like, I just need whatever that they can be donated, you know. And then he was like, maybe you can just go to the finance department, Impilo Consortium guys. Maybe you can just try your luck and then tell them your story, and you never know. Yeah. And then I went there to speak to Roy Delhoff. He's I can't remember his title, a financial something. Yeah. So I just went there and I introduced myself. I told him, okay, who I was and where I worked. And then I'm a student. I've been applying for this internship to go to America. I just need some donations. He was like, oh, okay, just write me an email or just write me a motivational letter, and then we'll take it from there. Mm-hmm. And then I did. So the person who was helping me with other things was an HR manager from Mongi at that time, who was Tobega. So she was helping with a lot of things because they needed to get like the communication between me and the agency that I was applying through. So I had to submit all of that and to show that I have proof that I've been applying. So I'm still in that process. So, and then I wrote the motivational letter, and then I got a reference letter again from my workplace, which my boss signed or my manager signed. And then I just took it to Impilo Consortium. And then after 3 weeks, they called me for an interview. I got there 5 minutes. He was like, me and my team are happy to fund you 100%. Like, I couldn't believe that. Like, I was like, yo, like, I feel like, yeah, that's it. Like, they couldn't make it here. So, yeah, that's all. We just... I didn't even know what to say.
And now obviously you have a family.
Yeah.
And how do they feel when you break it to them?
At first, because at that time my boyfriend was staying in the farm, Mthembu, because he was farming there. They have like a big farm, farming vegetables and supplying.
So Vele is the same industry.
I think I'm the one who convinced him into farming. At first, I was like, he's never been interested in those kind of things. Yeah, he loves reading and writing a lot. He's a writer, so yeah, that's what he's
a writer.
Yeah, he's a writer.
Hey, we must meet him.
Yeah, you should.
We must meet him.
Yeah, he's a good writer.
Why?
Yeah.
What kind of books is it? What kind of a writer is he?
Okay, first, the kind of a reader he reads. I don't know much about reading myself, so he reads a lot of classical books or philosophical books. So recently he just finished writing his short story, which he just submitted. I don't know where. There's like sort of a competition that he just applied, and so it's a very good one. Hey. It's a very good, seriously good.
I must meet him.
It's a very good one. He's been writing like his book since, you won't believe, since 2012. Because he's a perfectionist, so he believes that he doesn't care like how long it'll take him to finish his book. But for now, he's just focusing on short stories. Yeah, so
that's remarkable.
But yeah, when I broke the news to him, he was very supportive. As much as it's like a big thing, you know.
Now the kids, she becomes mom and dad.
You know. So, but he was like, I'll never stand in your way. Like, I'll support you in everything that you do, you know, because I know you're passionate about this. And
hey, there's a man doing good.
Yeah.
Did you guys hear that?
Not all of them are trash.
There's a South African man who's doing good. It's been said right here on the GNPS. Shout out to you, bro.
Shout out to Cross.
Shout out to Cross. You're the main man.
So yeah, he was very supportive. He was like, okay, it's okay. The kids will go to his family because his mom is in Jozini. They're from Jozini. So they'll be staying there, and at least his mom is a teacher. So it'll be easier for them to get the space at the school, so don't worry about that. We'll just take care of whatever that needs to be taken care of. And
because that's what a man's supposed to do, niggas.
Yeah. And from my family, I kept it a secret because I didn't want to disclose so early, because I know that disclosing so early, a lot of things could change in that process. I wanted to tell them why, when I knew that, okay, my visa was approved, flights, everything was paid for, then I can tell them, okay, this is something I've been planning throughout the year, and I'm going to America. So, yeah, my sister too was very hurt, but very supportive. Yeah, I've got one sister, Hundu, and she's a loving sister, supportive, because she's the one who encouraged me to go back to school. She's like, no, you need to go back to school. Yeah, she's my big sister. Yeah, and then so she was hurt because we were going to be apart for 1 year, and we've never been away from each other for that long. I've never been away from my family for that long. So they were supportive. I just told my boyfriend and my sister, and my kids, they didn't understand. They didn't. Go get America, go with TV, because for them they couldn't comprehend what is America? What is even America?
What's different?
It's like we say with TV. And then I had to get transfer letters for my kids so that they could go to Josini, had to do preparations. I didn't even tell them at my workplace at that time. When I told my boss to sign that reference, he was like, America. He just signed that. America, you are dreaming.
But it's amazing how ezinye izinto some of us still sisayibukela ukuthi in this day and age. Why is it something that should be uncomprehendable to people here?
I feel like maybe because of the nature of work I was doing, they probably uyahlanya lo. Also ithatha phi imali America. Uyokwenzani khona lapha eAmerica, because a lot of people didn't even know that I was studying at that time. I was doing my BTech when I was still working at Waste. Because for me, a job is a job. A job, no matter what you do, as long as it pays bills. So for me, I didn't care that I was a cleaner. So I loved doing what I was doing at that time, because I got to do a lot of other things as well, because I'm also a jewelry designer.
And another thing is uhlalela ukubuka abantu ukuthi benzani ngempilo zabo. I mean, kukusiza yapho wena.
Hey, anginawo leyo syndrome. Bazothini?
Understand ukuthi umuntu mangabe okay, ngiyicleaner. So does that mean akungifanele ukuthi ngiye America?
Yeah,
ayenze sense lo.
So I kept that a secret for a very long time, because I even resigned. Okay, when I resigned, that's when I told them that I'm not coming back. I'm going to America for my internship. They were shocked. They were like, "Are you serious?" I was like, "Yes. I'm sorry, I cannot come back. I'm resigning with immediate effect, so I'm going." So that's when I did my interview, my visa interview. I did it on the 9th of December, I think, in Joburg, because they couldn't find any closer dates around in the Devon embassy to do that interview. So I had to go to Joburg to do that interview. And it went well, and I couldn't believe. That's when I knew that I'm actually going. I didn't care that my sponsor had already paid for everything, but the fact that the visa was not done at that time, I wasn't so excited about it. So when I was told visa approved,
so that's when you're like,
yeah, because I was even in my mind, I wasn't sure if they said visa approved or visa not approved, but I knew that no. If it's not approved, they say declined. They won't confuse you. You will know. And also, they give you back your no. I think they take it back. They take it even if it's not approved. Your passports, because they courier it to your address after the interview. So when you open your passport, if it has a stamp or not. If it doesn't, then I win now. And so I did all of that, and that's when I told my family, my aunts, because I only have my aunt and my uncle right now. from my mom's side of the family that because when I went to Joburg to do my interview, I had to leave my kids with my aunt. So I just told her that I'm going for a job interview in Joburg. I didn't tell her.
Oh, good.
In Joburg. And then she was like, okay, how did it go? Because I came back after 4 days because I was at my cousin's place at that time. And then when I came back, I was like, I got the job, but it's not in Joburg. It's in New York. They were like, what? Yeah? Like there was total silence.
You've made arrangements.
No.
There
There was like total silence. There was like total silence. Like for like maybe a minute or two, no one said anything. I just sat there. Nobody said anything.
Yeah.
And my cousin was like, my younger cousin was like, Siyakbongela. Wow, New York. I'm like, yeah. And that was it. They were like, Siyakbongela. And I'm like, okay.
Yeah.
And then I took my kids the next day, and then obviously everything was already been prepared for them so that they can go to Jozini with their father, and everything was arranged, and they picked them up in Mandeni, Ekaya, and then that was it. And I had to sell a lot of things because I had to get rid of stuff. I couldn't take them home. Yeah, so I had to sell a lot of things just so that I can go back home. And Ekaya sikhulele abantu abakholelwe emadlozini. So when my mom, before she passed on, she was twasaring. Why twasa?
No, there's nothing wrong with it. There's nothing wrong with that.
No, I just said twasaring.
Absolutely with that. Yeah.
So we believe in. I also not with Ekaya, but I myself believe in that. Personally, yes, I do believe in ancestors. And I believe that they are there. They're like guiding angels for us, you know.
How would you explain ukuthi ukukholela emadlozini ukusebenzela kanjani wena?
Okay, mhlambe ngiqale
ngeke
ngilungisela ukuthi
sikwazi ukuphikisa kuloko.
Abantu mabethu ukukholela emadlozini, they think we praise ancestors. No, asibakhonzi. We acknowledge them ukuthi babekhona empilweni zethu, badlula, and but they forever like a part of us. Like they be forever like our angels. Like we acknowledge them that they are there. They are part of the family, even if they are not enyameni. So they'll always be there. So ngiyakholelwa ukuthi uma ubabiza, like they hear you. Like
in your time of need, they will hear you and
possibly
for me, give you some a signal or an answer, so to say. Yeah.
So that's what it is for me, ukholelwa emadlozini. And for me, I had to go home. Malume angishisela impepho and inform them ukuthi I'm leaving the country and I'm going to America and they should just be with me. Yabo. Bangibusise. Oba bangikhanyisele indlela yami mangihamba ngize ngibuye nabantwana baphephe, because kwesinye isikhathi kuthiwa bayithutha bangavele bacanga ukuthi useshiya ingane lo masingane zami ziyagula la yabo. So they had to tell them ukuthi no, akahambile uyabuya usayothola itoho elincane just unyaka owodwa and she'll be back, and ngikhanyiseleni ingane niphephise. And ngampela ngahamba ingane zange zigule kwamina ngaze ngigula. I had insurance but angizange ngigule unyaka wonke, so which was good. So when going to a point la sengihamba khona ke, it was very tough. For me, it was very, very tough.
Yeah.
I actually cried. Sengibona kanje airport iShaka International. Like ngingathi ngihlehlisa at least one day. It's okay. Ngingahambi namhlanje ngihambe kusasa. It was so difficult for me leaving my boyfriend especially and my sister. It was so hard. Because my kids were already in school at that time. When I left, they already started school. Yeah, because I was with them when they went for their first day. And I left and then I went to my uncle's home in Mandeni ekhaya, and then kwenziwa-ke kushiswa impepho, ngenza utshwala besiZulu, and then I had to go. So when we went to the airport, it was difficult for me. And then I had to just let it be, you know.
Yeah, that's what you asked for.
Yeah. Nampela. So yeah, my trip was like 24 hours from or Tambo to Doha. There was 10 hours. From Doha to JFK, there was 14 hours. And then yeah, we landed very late and got to the farmhouse at the host company around about 6 p.m. In the evening. Yeah, it was a long trip. And yeah.
So now your time there, what's different?
Oh my gosh.
What do we learn? What are the changes and perspectives in terms of how we see things now? Or
That's all I can say. It was a big transition for me. First of all, when I left home, it was summer. Going to winter in America, extremely cold. It's like you just had surgery. It was like your face would be so numb. For me, it was like a lot. Like I've never experienced that kind of cold in my life, ever. So it was a big transition. First, the weather, okay? Number two, it was the accent, my South African accent. A lot of people didn't understand it. They wouldn't understand, like, what are you saying? Like, there's a lot of when you speak. Why you say like in your accent, like everything. So it's frustrating and it's annoying. Like you keep on repeating yourself, but eventually I was okay, but still stucking on my accent, on my South African accent. They had to get used to how I spoke, you know, because I could do nothing about that because my accent meant that I'm from that country, so there's nothing I can change with that. So
you mean to say abanye kunabantu phela la abayithethe isingisi basikhuluma kanti mangafika ngale
yeah, like kuyazwakala nje ukuthi, you know, you're not from here, like kuyazwakala. And also like the metric conversions and all that. Oh my gosh,
pounds, kilograms to pounds.
Ngithi ipound uthi ufuna ukukala ama veg at the grocery store and man pound ubona uLB awazi ukuthi yini manje uLB and uthi uyothenga because I do jewelry, so I was going to a craft shop to buy
I wanted to ask you that later.
Okay, all right. And then I get there, they like I wanted to buy like a chain, like a gold chain, just could use to make my jewelry. And I was like, how much is it? I'd like to buy a chain, like a gold chain. Like how much do you want? Like we sell about a third. I'm like, what? Hey, tombazane ithini kumina? I want 1 meter. We sell it by a third. Yo, Nkosi yami. I was like, okay, 1 foot, two right low. 1 foot is right. You know, it's frustrating. It's very, very frustrating. It's not easy. And also like another incident, I went to a bank to get my check, to cash in my check. So they're like, sorry ma'am, how you want your bills? How you want your bills? You want them 20s or you want them 50s? My bills. For a second, I'm thinking, no, I'm not here to pay bills. Okay, so what is it? Oh, okay, I remember. Okay, bills. They don't say banknotes. They call it bills. So, okay, 50 is fine. 50s are fine.
Can I tell you how some of the slang or language and pronunciation of some of the things?
Yeah.
Thank God for hip hop. Yo, otherwise.
Yeah, thank God for hip hop. That's true. Because you pick a lot of things in the music. Yeah. Oh, this is how they say things. Oh, that's not how they say things.
Because even if they say it in the movies, you're like, yeah, no, come on. But in the music, a song, you can play it time and time again.
Yeah.
And eventually you get to a point like, hey, let me find out what's this thing.
Yeah. Because I also did that. Like before I left, I watched a lot of YouTube videos on the accent of people from Long Island because I was going to Long Island. So I didn't want to have that problem. Okay, like the common words that they use. But even all that Googling, it didn't really help because when I was there, it's something different.
It's something different ballgame.
Yeah. But then it was nice to be there because the people are very friendly. People from Long Island are very friendly.
How the
and
cops?
when you, what's that?
The cops.
The cops?
the cops.
How are they?
Yeah.
They're so friendly. You can actually take a selfie with a cop, like
Wow, that's
NYPD, especially in the city. So yeah.
Yeah,
But in Long Island, I wouldn't say I've seen like a lot of cops on the road, but I've seen like just passing by. But I've actually spoken to a lot of them in the city, and I've taken pictures. You know,
you know what? Like when in times like this, like if you see what's happening in the United States, and you speak to some like you've been there, and like you're saying, but you never experience any of the things that we see over here. Because we are here, we just see one incident from one certain area, and we think like the whole of that.
Yeah,
place is
it's like that.
Yeah, I think that's the case with South Africa as well. Like someone might see a certain section, see a certain part of South Africa, see something happen,
and conclude on that. Yeah,
would see that's how
it is. And that's not how it is, because also like you can go to a place for like 1 month or for 2 months. I wouldn't say like that person got to get the feel of the place and the people and the culture, got to absorb all of that. Because for me, it took me about 4 months like to know, oh, this is America, this is how things work here. You know, for first 2-3 months, I was like, what the heck? What's going on here? You know, like everything is not familiar.
Yeah.
But the people are very, very friendly, because when I think on my very first month, when I got there, I was looking for a yoga studio, because it's something that was on my bucket list. I wanted to start yoga because I've always wanted to do yoga, but because I was always juggling work and school, and the kids, so I never got to get the time to go to a studio, because I know there's a studio that's in Musgrave that I've always wanted to go to. Shout out to Toolbox.
Yeah, Toolbox.
Yeah, I've always wanted to, because it's
ladies.
black owned. It's black owned. So, and I've known them since 2015 or 2016 through the nursery, because they were my regular customers. I would advise them on the plans, what to plant. And while I think at that time they were still setting up their studio and all that. So I did follow them like ever since. So yeah.
And so you got time to catch up on your yoga as well while you're there?
Yeah, I practiced yoga for the first time when I was in New York. So I joined a studio called Yogaholics. So I was introduced to not Ashtanga. Okay, let me just not say the styles of yoga. Let me just not say. But I think it's Ashtanga and Hatha Yoga. That's the style they do there, and Vinyasa as well. So I got to do yoga, and for me, it helped me a lot, because it helped me balance my emotions. I was always emotional, being away from my kids and my family. It was so hard. So it helped create that balance in my life, because I would practice like every day. Almost throughout the year, I practiced yoga every day. So I would start with the morning practice, and it helped me throughout the day to cope with everything, because there were challenges as well in a workplace, even outside work, and just thinking about my family, even missing the country itself. Like you hear people like, "You from South Africa?" You just smile. They're like, "Do you know Nelson Mandela?" And I'll be smiling, you know.
They seriously ask you about Nelson Mandela.
Yeah, they do. And, you know... So I missed the country, you know, itself. You'd miss speaking your own language, even though my roommate was Ndebele, which is similar to Zulu. But we never really spoke a lot of Zulu because of other roommates who was from Haiti. So we would speak English like most of the time, because a lot of people also in our workplace were either Spanish people or English-speaking people, the Americans and other students as well from all parts of the world. So yeah. Yoga helped me a lot, and it's something that I've always wanted to do. So I was glad that I got the chance to do it. And at the same time, the owner of the studio allowed me to sell my jewelry at the studio as well.
Oh,
yeah, so which was very, very nice thing to do, you know. Even though I didn't really get like to sell a lot of it, but it was nice that other people would buy from me.
Tell us about the jewelry.
Yeah.
How does that come about in your life?
I think
By the
it's
way,
always
the
been
earrings
part
she's
of.
wearing, she made them.
Yes, this is actually
Yeah.
the lungs, human body lungs. This is
Yeah.
for COVID-19
Oh,
because
okay.
it,
That's the
affects.
inspiration.
Yes, that's the inspiration because it affects the respiratory system. Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah. So I think I've always been that person who wanted to be different. Like I've always been that person because even in high school, I would be wearing earrings that were not allowed. We were supposed to be wearing studs, silver studs only, small ones. But then I would wear like chunky stuff that's not allowed. So, because I didn't like the idea of wearing a pair of earrings and then you're gonna come across the next person wearing the same thing, like Haibo, okay.
Uniform.
So I would buy like when I started making my own jewelry, I would it was in 2012. I would buy jewelry and just change it into something that I wanted because I had no idea like okay how I was gonna go about starting everything from scratch. So that's how I started. Started just buying and recycling that, making it to something that I wanted at that time. And then when I started working at Inkos Alberts, I was making my own jewelry at that time, like buying all the material and making
You
it
also
myself.
sold the jewelry.
Yes, because that's how it came about.
I bought my
when,
girlfriend's.
yeah, I remember. Yes, I remember because I do also a lot of recycling. So I'll do like recycle, like I'd recycle some maybe beer tips or beer caps and then just make it into something beautiful. So yeah, I like to do that as well. So how I started selling the stuff there or my jewelry at the hospital is that
No, it's fine. Yeah.
homemade.
Got this kulum.
So people used to compliment my jewelry, like, "Where do you buy it?" I'll be like, "I make it myself." Like, "Why you don't sell it to us?" Like, A year later, then I started selling the jewelry, and then people were very supportive, and especially the nurses. No, I would not say the nurses. Let me not say that. Everybody in Albert Lutuli Hospital in different departments, they were very supportive. They still are. Yeah, so yeah, that's how it started. It's always been something that I want to do.
So is it?
It's another passion of mine.
Has it gotten to a point where is it like a business? No, you still just on that.
Yeah, it's not like a big business. It's still a small business, I'd say.
Then you don't have plans to like.
I do have
go
plans.
big on it?
I do have plans, but I want to be able to join all my three passions: horticulture, yoga, and jewelry, because I want to get into doing jewelry using healing stones or minerals or gemstones. Yeah. So I want to combine that, like all of that. I want to make it.
You in the process of also starting your own blog spot?
Yeah.
Tell us about that.
That's also going to be, it's something I'm still working on. So it's going to be like 3 or 4 categories, which will be horticulture. It's something I would be posting about horticulture, yoga, as well as jewelry and healthy eating, I guess.
Can I just ask you to add some within the horticulture?
Alrighty.
You probably are gonna do it, so this is just me. Can you also on the blog like teach people how to start a home garden to grow your own vegetables?
Yes, like, organically.
In a small anyana corner. Because I mean, if you look at the times that we live in right now, abantu balahlekelwa imisebenzi, and the most important thing emhlabeni ukulala udlile.
Yeah, that's
okunye
true.
nokunye. In order ukuthi sikwazi ukuthi sibhekane namanye ama-challenge, fanele sibe na something eswini. So
that's
is
true.
it part of
that would be nice, you know, because it's something that I've thought about, but not exactly in that way. I've thought about actually doing guerrilla gardening, but the reason why I'm not starting it now because of the COVID-19, plus I'm not working yet. So when I do get like a job, I want to start like guerrilla gardening. I'll just randomly choose a community. I just start a garden. They'll have to maintain it, like just everything. I'll sponsor everything, just grow everything and leave. So they will just have to maintain and harvest from the garden. So that's my way of giving back to the community, because it's part of karma yoga. Doing something like not thinking about yourself, but thinking about other people, like as a service. Because
Wow. Thank you, Sphindile. You're such an inspirational person, and it's good to see females standing up and taking the lead.
Thank you.
Especially in a country like ours, we need more people such as yourself who sacrifice their own times and their own lives in order to make sure not just themselves but others benefit off of that. Anything you want to add in closing that you feel like we might have not covered, or it's something that's personal to you and you feel like, every now and again you'd like to share this with people?
Okay. Also, another thing that I didn't mention, like during the COVID-19 lockdown in South Africa, I got the chance to to apply for a scholarship in Bali, which I couldn't make it to Bali because of the COVID-19. So I won the scholarship to study or to train towards becoming a yoga teacher. So I had to do that online. And for 3 weeks, I trained like very intensely, and I graduated after 3 weeks. Now I'm a yoga teacher. I teach hatha yoga.
Hey. So are we going to be seeing sessions?
Yeah. Soon I'll be sharing, and I have a lot actually that I want to do. But for now, I cannot talk about it because I'm still in the process of discussing that with those people that are involved or that will be involved.
Okay. Yeah. Any advice you want to dish out? It's a platform where we
I'd say
to anyone, anything,
to anyone. Okay, I'd say never give up, and your dreams are valid, no matter where you are or no matter what you do. But never think that because you qualified or because you're good at something, then you should just sit and relax. Nothing just come to you. You have to work hard. You have to work towards achieving whatever that you want to achieve. So whatever that comes your way, and you must use the environment that you're in, the people around you, to get to where you want to be in future. So yeah, thanks.
Thank you for joining us. Thank you to our subscribers. Really appreciate you. If you're not a subscriber, do the right thing. It's right here in the corner. Subscribe, like, comment. We might not comment though, but do comment and share the stuff, man. Be friendly. Be kind. Love and peace. Catch us next time. Shout out to Tiny behind the camera. Shout out to Mprigs on the audio. Secret.
Thank you.